Claudell Clark here, President and CEO of the Better Business Bureau, Southeast Virginia, Northeast North Carolina, here with very good friend Charles Misuna, Director of Operations at Southern Solar. Charles, good. How you doing?
Good to see you, Coach.
All right, man. As always, it's good to have you in our presence. Accredited business, Director of Operations, doing special things with your team, and a fellow Spartan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to the green and gold.
Absolutely. Always good to be in the presence of a Spartan. But really, today's Coach's Corner is why we're here. Okay. A presentation, a live broadcast that we've been doing, just really to continue to draw the parallels between coaching and business.
Yes, sir.
And as you know, a former player, coach, baseball connoisseur, you've certainly seen these coaching moves, been in this coaching box, and understand now in a business setting, how some of those lessons, how some of that experience plays into your daily life. So tell us a little bit more about your role at Southern Solar, and then we'll kind of get into this.
All right, so I'm Charles Misuna, Operations Manager at Southern Solar. This is year 2 in that position. Southern Solar's been around since 2023. My job is just the day-to-day operations, handling the sales team, the installation, materials, coordinating with customers, in the scheduling. And just, the everyday operations of making things happen.
Certainly. What's your service area? How far do you all cover?
So, we're Hampton Roads, the 7 cities. We go as far as, we have a license in North Carolina. We'll hit Nags Head, Manio area. We'll go as far as Williamsburg, Richmond. This past December 2024, we actually went to Abington, Virginia, which was 6.5 hours away. Wow. So we don't do it too often, but if there's a demand and a need in solar, we'll make it happen.
Right. Well, very similar footprint, as I talked about, this Southeast Virginia and Northeast North Carolina for us. But getting right into it, how big is your team? When you talk about team in business, team in coaching, how big is the team, and then how many persons do you manage?
So right now we have 1 install team, it's a 5-man crew. I have like a 7 to 8 sales team, and then it's me and my technician specialist, Matthew Barrier, in the office. So it's about 15 people. Okay. Like I said, this is year 3 of the company, but we're growing quickly, growing fast. But at the same time, we didn't want to overextend ourselves, make smart business decisions, and just grow a little bit at a time, The main focus is just putting out a dependable quality product with great customer service, being able to meet all those demands.
Okay. With standards that high and the team that large, you as the Director of Operations / coach, you got your coaching hat on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
New York Mets.
Little Ken Griffey action. Yes, sir.
Shea Stadium, City Field now.
Yes, sir.
But how do you kind of bring it, as they say in sports, or how do you kind of motivate yourself on a daily basis to get them motivated, to have direction and intentionality for those persons to deliver that great product and then have that customer service?
I think for me, the biggest thing is like leadership, communication, and vision.
Okay.
A lot with business and in sports is having a goal and setting that goal, and with the communication part, being able to communicate to each individual. You may be something, a person that I can encourage, maybe yell at, and being able to read each individual, but at the same time that we all reach that same goal in the end, and achieving our company's vision, right? So, it kind of plays hand in hand with itself. The sports and the business aspect of just being able to adapt daily to different situations. We had talked earlier, I had a little situation this morning right out the back that I had to kind of see it and then just adapt to it and move forward with it. Same thing with coaching.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
No. So you have this team, you have set these goals and standards, putting out great customer service. But as you know, in this day and time, it's hard to keep employees.
Yes, sir.
It's hard to keep your team together, right? How do you retain? How do you professionally develop? How do you keep that core together? And then also, you talked about growth. How do you plan to recruit and move forward?
So for me right now, my install team, same install team I've had, actually same install team they've had for 2 years. And the biggest thing with them is just being honest up front and treating them the same way I'd want to be treated myself. Communicating with the team differently, right? Each person as an individual. Where I might have like an old head, we'd say back at Norfolk State, right? An old head, an
Old
OG.
heads.
How to communicate with him versus the young guy, you know. And just the biggest thing for me when I came into this position, because these guys were already there and established, was gaining their trust. And by doing so, a big thing for me is communication and leadership and leading by example. Showing the guys I'm showing up every day. This is, not what I expect, but lead by example is doing these things, these little, bringing in some structure and implementing it, but just showing them. And then, the same thing is in the future as we begin recruiting and hiring people, since we've already implemented this structure with the existing crew, it'll just trickle its way down with the new hires.
Oh, yeah. So there's some culture there, right?
Right.
That's
Yes,
already
sir.
instilled. New people coming in. You talked about learning your players and learning how to engage them and how to make people go.
Right.
On the field or in a business office, everybody goes differently. Everybody reacts differently. So that's so good. If you're just tuning in, this is Claudell Clark, President and CEO of the Better Business Bureau, Southeast Virginia, Northeast North Carolina, here with Charles Misuna, Southern Solar.
Yes, sir.
And just great to have him on board, accredited business many years, Director of Operations, former coach, former Spartan, and
Yes,
just sharing some great knowledge with us. Just tell us a little bit about how your coaching and your sports background has made you successful in this position.
Let's see, that's a good question. I actually thought about that a lot. And I go back to the leadership, being able to gauge one's talents on and off the field, right? More as we talk about the business, just seeing something, a small thing, something that I could tweak just a little bit. I'm not trying to change the whole landscape of how someone may do something. Implementing that structure. Structure's key, especially in a business. If we have KPIs and KPOs, and we follow the procedures, it makes the day-to-day actions a little bit easier, especially when it gets crunch time, late in the game, when I have to be able to see something, that they might not see and make that end game tweak, But yeah, I mean, it's allowed me now that I'm older, right, and use that experience as a young coach to be just more grounded, a little laid back, a little bit more relaxed, and let things, like we were saying earlier, see them as they are, but let them play out.
That's right.
Right, let them play out.
You got a good culture, good environment, they'll play out correctly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You mentioned KPIs in there, and you mentioned goals. What defines success? Oftentimes you want to have 15 or 16 wins or 100 wins, depending on the sport you're in. What defines success for Southern Solar?
So for me, it's quality installation with limited callbacks and problems, right? I'm not looking to get 100, 200 installations a year. I'm looking at quality installations, right? We're in business to save the customer money. If it doesn't make sense for the customer, then we're not going to install it, right? We're looking to reduce or completely get rid of your power bill, right? Wow. So for me, it's not like end of the year. Yeah, we had a great year, monetarily or installs, but it's getting those little things. The kid that cannot hit a curveball, right? And you're constantly telling them, stay back, read it out of the pitcher's hand, drive it back up the middle, and then he finally does it on the last day of the year, right? It's the same thing when you get customers' phone calls. We're big on our 5-star Google reviews.
Okay.
When we get those things, when the customer reaches out and just thanks you, that to me is the victory in itself. Yeah, we look back at the end of the year and we look at our, the amount we've installed and the customers, but it's the customer appreciation that's really the biggest thing for Southern Solar.
Wow. And for those of you who don't know, the solar business is not an easy business.
No,
the
sir.
install, the dynamics and the science behind it. How do you professionally develop and train and further equip your staff to be kind of on the cutting edge of the solar industry so that they're doing the best work they can be and make you all the best company you all can do?
So for us, it's things like this, doing interviews, training. There's a lot of in-depth training that we can do, different seminars.
Okay.
For me, I've always done it as a coach, always learning. For me, because this was a new position for me. I had originally come from a background of testing solar farms, windmills, substation, power plants, what makes the energy happen. Now, on this side, actually doing the installation, there's a lot of training, there's a lot of videos, and it's very important to constantly learn and refresh.
Yep.
Right, the basics.
In the off season, you got to come
Right,
back
you got to refresh, but then you also got to, like you said, to stay ahead, keep up with what's out there, the new technology, the new things that are offered out there, and it's for me as an operation manager, it's constantly training. I feel like I'm constantly in school, constantly learning, YouTubing it or Googling it or Chat GPT.
Cutting edge.
Yes,
Yeah, right.
cutting edge.
Right.
So, but it's just important to constantly just learn and grow. Right. That's the only way that we're going to see success.
Well, that was instilled in us by many good coaches that we both had. Some we share in common. You talk about vision earlier in the conversation and growth and where the company's going. What is the vision for Southern Solar, and how does that vision fit in with the ever-tightening, ever-competitive market of solar?
I think our vision is, obviously we want to be the premier solar installation company in the 757, but it's just repetition for us. Repetition at the plate, repetition on the mound, repetition in the field. Same thing, with solar, just repeating that customer service, that quality installation. That's our vision, is just to constantly put out a product that we can be proud of, the customers can be proud of, and then, and we can share it with everybody else. Right. And that's just been my vision, is just to start basic, very simple. Like I said, we have a 5-man install team. I got, 7 to 8 salespeople, not a bunch of people, but we just keep it simple. Right. Keep it simple. And as we grow, yes, the vision, I would love, bigger office, more money, luxurious things. But that doesn't happen unless you just keep it simple. Okay. Stick to the basics, stick what got us here.
So you talk about that so many times in sports.
Right.
Just the basics.
It is.
Can we pitch and catch? Can we field? Can we just play catch? Right.
Can we catch the ball? Can we hit the ball? Can we throw the ball?
Mistake-free games.
Right. Absolutely.
We in business oftentimes talk about success and goals and reaching things at the end of the year, but through that we have ups and downs. Certainly in sports, better than anybody, you're just going to have those down periods. In baseball, 7 out of 10 times, right?
Right.
How do you personally get yourself, even before the team members, how do you get yourself through down periods or just kind of just pure failing? And then how do you get them through their own failures or their own shortcomings or their own tough periods? How do you pick them back up and get them ready for the next day?
For me, it's just hit it head on.
Okay.
Just, it's because it's so easy to look away or just not to think about it. But for me, it's just to hit it head on. Face that mistake, whatever it is, and then do our best to fix it. Just be honest with the customer. Hey, this happened. It's our fault, but this is what we're going to do to make it better. And then, and just be honest. Honesty is the biggest key,
That's policy.
There's been times where, we've had service calls and I just can't get there. And I just called, I said, look, man, we're overbooked. Right. Instead of like ghosting them and not talking to them at all and just making it worse, right? Just give the customer a call and just say, hey, look, we're just not gonna be able to be there. We're overbooked, but I want to communicate with you. Communication is the key. Yeah. So yeah, man, you got to face that adversity head on, and then you'll learn a lot about yourself. Okay. And you grow from it, right? And the guys will see that, and they'll see in the end, hey, you know what? That was probably the best way to do that, is just head on, take care of it, handle it, and move on from it. Learn and move on.
Right. Setting a great example for your team, setting a great example for people who are observing the company. And many times in business and sports, sometime the person you might have had a run-in with or just came up short in terms of service, sometimes when you make it right, those become your best customers,
yes,
your best
sir.
players, or your best fans,
yes.
whatever it is. So it's very important not to let that linger. Just how do you see, yourself, we talked about Southern Solar, we talked about your team. How do you see yourself growing in the company? How do you see yourself growing as a coach, as a director of operations? And what words would you share with our viewers in terms of continuing to be this high level and successful administrator that you've been?
That's a good question. Well, I think the key thing for me is family.
Right.
Family. At the end of the day, how do I grow? Personally, I'm a huge family man. My wife has been very supportive through everything I do. I have two wonderful, amazing young men. And that, for me, that's everything at the end of the day. Southern Solar is a job, but luckily I have a great owner, Sean Thord, who's just been amazing. That's allowed me to just take this company and run. But at the end of the day, for me, it's all about family and spending time with them and seeing their success. I got a 50th birthday coming up, so it's time. I'm ready to be a pop Charmander, a granddad, things like that. That's for me. That's success.
Right.
At the end of the day, the family, the growth of the family, seeing them mature and grow as a family.
Well, there's no wrong answer to that, but I was really, that's what I was kind of getting at. Oftentimes coaches just see the championship or business, you see the results or some sort of a share value or kind of in prospectus, but it's bigger than that in coaching in sports or coaching in business, because at the end of the day, you got to show these people that you care about them, you have to show the company that you care, but at the end of the day, success or not, as us as individuals, as coaches, as leaders, we do have to take care of ourselves. We have to take care of our families. We have to take care of what's most important. You see all the time coaches are on top of the pile or underneath the pile.
Right.
But the greatest ones can pick themselves back up and just kind of rally back around those who mean the most to them, which is family at the end of the day.
Right. Yes, sir.
Whether you won or lost. So that's so great, man. We talked also about Southern Solar's long-time accreditation. And just tell us, what does that accreditation mean to you, and some of the things that it's done for Southern Solar?
It means everything. We've been very thankful, like I said, 5-star reviews. We won a 2025 Spark Finalist Award this year. And we often get phone calls from customers saying, "Hey, I saw you on Google, the 5-star reviews. I looked you up on the Better Business Bureau." And it means a lot. And it's, for us, that's our trophy, that's our championship, our World Series, our Super Bowl, things like that. Not only just the customers, but outside of the customers, the community is also recognizing the success we have, and it means a lot. It really does.
And when you talk about the Spark Awards that you mentioned, awards for businesses 3 years or less,
yes,
who are
sir.
doing great things in terms of business, great business practice ethics, or you wouldn't be accredited, but also doing things in the community. Tell us a little about your community philosophy or the philosophy of giving back, this corporate social responsibility, and what are some of the things on the radar for Southern Solar in the community?
So we're really good at donating to various schools, sports. There's a couple of high schools that we donate to the sports fund, Let's see, moving forward, we just want to continue to give back. We had a sales meeting yesterday with one of the local, I cannot think of the name, but it was a local, kind of like ECPI, but I don't want to name drop. It's not. But we're looking to partner up, maybe some type of apprenticeship.
Almost trade school.
There you go, a trade school. It'd be a trade school that wants to send some guys out to where they could get some in-the-field experience. So we're looking to do some things like that. But yeah, anything we can do to help the community, we're all about it.
Good. Well, time's been well spent. Tremendous being in your presence and then the information for our viewers. We certainly appreciate your presence here, your investment into the Better Business Bureau, investment in the community. Southern Solar's great work in the community and its investment into the BBB. And we just certainly hope that we can help you all as a resource to your company so that you can continue to have a great example in our community.
Yes,
so
sir.
Charles, we certainly appreciate you.
Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Very
Always.
much appreciate it. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yep.